This is a fly that I've always admired. A friend of mine from the East Coast sent me one. I really liked the action of it, so I wound up talking to him. After reading a couple of the forums, I found Congo hair from Tyers Dungeon, and it appears to be a lot cheaper than EP fiber. While my friend uses a tarpon hook, you'll see here that I'm using a Trident bait buster. It's about the only thing that I could find here in Missouri. The Trident bait buster has a nice short shank with a curve on it that allows for the hook to go ahead and bite, and I'm using it in 1/0. The first thing that I've done is taken some flash aboo. This doesn't come in the kit. There is flash that comes in it, but it's more for making a flashy clouser minnow, things like that. And so simply tie in the flash and then I post it up around the back. I found that by posting it, it keeps everything up together. You don't have anything falling down in the baitfish pattern. This is the Congo hair. This is the baitfish belly. And whatever you're going to use, cut it in half and use that. This stuff goes a long way, like a clouser minnow. All I can say is, you know, the thinner the better, the less material the better. Less is always more. And once you cut it in half, just pull both ends and you'll get that to be unnatural or ununiformed, and then you can just tie it on. I like to use a 70-30 method. That helps me build up a little bit of a head. On the tail there, you see I'm almost doing a 50-50, and I do pull it back along the sides of the hook on occasion, and that does help. I also like to tie in a little bit of red, and I'll just take 2 or 3 strands and then cut them and double them and cut them and double them several times, and that will work well for a gill plate. Sometimes I run my flash underneath the gill plate, sometimes I run it over. Just depends on how I'm tying. There's really no wrong way. This is sort of a Bob Ross sort of fly. Whatever color you want to tie into it, you really can depending on what you're targeting. If I'm doing a sunfish, I'll actually tie in a little bit of blue up front. That way it has a little bit of a blue gill to it. It's got 3 or 4 strands. This is going to be a silver baitfish, much like if you were gar fishing where you'd really want that red hot spot. You just really want it to blend in a little bit natural, but like I said, you can lay down the flash first and then lay down the red if you'd like it. Again, using the Congo hair from Tyers Dungeon. This stuff is so incredibly inexpensive compared to EP fiber, and it works just as good, if not better. It's actually just a little bit thinner than EP fiber and moves a little bit better in the water. Again, grab half as much as you think you need and then cut that in half. And you'll see that 70-30 method right here, and we're just going to build up a little bit of head right on top of it. The great thing about this baitfish combo that I got from Tyers Dungeon was $48, $53 shipped to me here in Missouri. It came with everything you need other than the flashaboo if you're going to use flashaboo. If you tie it right, you don't have to trim it as much. I got a little long. And then the one thing that they actually do that's really nice is they send you a big selection of 5 and 8mm eyes. And I use Loon, and I only use Loon. I'm a big Loon fan. I use the Loon UV cure whenever I put my eyes on. I put a little bit of super glue on it, stick it to the side, and then what I'll do is I'll coat the entire head between the eyes in thick. And then I will actually take and run the thin over the top. So once you've whip finished off and you're all ready to be done, then you've got to go ahead and put the eye on. And this is easier to do when it's leaned on its side. Just put a very small drop, basically just enough to hold it in place while you spin it around before you put the UV on. Like I said, I use the Loon UV. I think it's a fantastic product. They've been really good to me. I've gotten a lot of things from them. Great company, just like Tyers Dungeon. I can't say enough nice things. But once you get those set, try to make them as equal as possible. They're never going to be exact when you're doing something like this, but try to get them there. And then take your Loon UV glue and just put a dollop of the thick in between the head on top, and then hit it with your UV light. And then you're going to do the exact same thing for the bottom. But I changed lights there, I'm sorry. My batteries were going dead. That's actually a Loon UV light right there. Then just turn it over, put a dollop on the bottom, and then you'll just take your Loon UV light and just put it on there. And you can even see how that Congo hair glows underneath that UV light. It's really a pretty fly. Next, you just take the thin and you just put it on the eyes, rotate it around, keep rotating. I got a little much on there, but if you just keep rotating over and let it form a head, that will lock those eyes in, give it a little bit of a head so you'll get a little bit of a diving action. Again, hit it with the UV light while you're spinning it. Hope you enjoy this video. Please support Fly Tyers Dungeon if you're going to make these flies, as well as Loon products. Thank you.